The fickle crew have deserted Reginald, and sworn allegiance to his rival, and all, forsooth, because he has glanced with passing favour on a puling milkmaid. Fools! Of that fancy he will soon weary, and then I, who alone am faithful to him, shall reap my reward. But do not dally too long, Reginald, for my charms are ripe, Reginald, and already they are decaying. Better secure me ere I have gone too far. Sad is that woman's lot, who year by year sees one by one her beauties disappear. When time grown weary of her heart-drawn sighs, impatiently begins to dim her eyes. Compelled at last to life's uncertain gloamings, to wreathe her wrinkled brow with well-saved combings, reduced with rouge, lipsalve, and pedigree, to make up for lost time as best she may. Silvered is the raven hair, spreading is the parting straight, mottled the complexion fair, halting is the youthful gait, hollow is the laughter free, spectacled the limpid eye. Little will be left of me in the coming by and by. Little will be left of me in the coming by and by. Fading is the taper waist, shapeless grows the shapely limb, and although severely laced, spreading is the figure trim, stouter than I used to be, still more corpulent grow I. There will be to
The old tale. How rapturously these maidens love me, and how hopelessly. Oh, patience, patience, with the love of thee in my heart. What have I for these poor mad maidens but an unvalued pity? Alas, they will die of hopeless love for me, as I shall die of hopeless love for thee.
Sir, will it please you read to us?
Yes, child, if you will. What shall I read?
One of your own poems.
One of my own poems. Better not, my child. They will not cure thee of thy love.
Mr. Bunthorne used to read us a poem of his own every day.
And to do him justice, he read them extremely well.
Oh, did he so? Well, who am I that I should take upon myself to withhold my gifts from you? What am I but a trustee? Here is a decollete, a pure and simple thing, a very daisy. A babe might understand it. To appreciate it, it is not necessary to think of anything at all.
Let us think of nothing at all.
Gentle Jane was as good as gold. She always did as she was told. She never spoke when her mouth was full, or caught blue bottles their legs to pull, or spilt plum jam on her nice new frock, or put white mice in the 8-day clock, or vivisected her last new doll, or fostered a passion for alcohol. And when she grew up, she was given in marriage to a first-class earl who keeps his carriage. I believe I am right in saying that there is not one word in that decollete which is calculated to bring the blush of shame to the cheek of modesty.
Not one. It is purity itself.
Here's another. Teasing Tom was a very bad boy. A great big squirt was his favourite toy. He put live shrimps in his father's boots and sewed up the sleeves of his Sunday suits. He punched his poor little sisters' heads and cayenne-peppered their 4-post beds. He plastered their hair with cobbler's wax and dropped hot halfpennies down their backs. The consequence was he was lost totally and married a girl in the Corps de Ballet.
Marked you how grandly, how relentlessly the damning catalogue of crimes strode on, till retribution, like a poisoned hawk, came swooping down upon the wrongdoer. Oh, it was terrible.
Oh, sir, you are indeed a true poet, for you touch our hearts, and they go out to you.
This is simply cloying.
Ladies, I am sorry to distress you, but you have been following me about ever since Monday, and this is Saturday. I should like the usual half-holiday. If you will kindly allow me to close early today, I shall take it as a personal favour.
Oh, sir, do not send us from you, for our love leaps from our lips, and our hearts go out to you.
Poor girls. It is best to speak plainly. I know that I am loved by you, but I can never love you in return, for my heart is fixed elsewhere. Remember the fable of the magnet and the churn.
But we don't know the fable of the magnet and the churn.
Don't you? Then I will sing it to you. A magnet hung in a hardware shop, and all around was a loving crop of scissors and needles needles, nails, and knives, offering love for all their lives. But for iron the magnet felt no whim, though he charmed iron, it charmed not him. From needles and nails and knives he'd turn, for he'd set his love on a silver churn.
A silver churn,
A silver churn. His most aesthetic, very magnetic fancy took this turn. If I can wheedle a knife or a needle, why not a silver churn?
his most aesthetic, very magnetic fancy took this turn. If I can wheedle a knife or a needle, why not a silver churn?
And iron and steel expressed surprise. The needles opened their well-drilled eyes. The penknives felt shut up, no doubt. The scissors declared themselves cut out. The kettles they boiled with rage, 'tis said, while every nail went off its head. And hither and thither began to roam, till a hammer came up and drove them home.
It drove them home.
It drove them home. While this magnetic, peripatetic lover he lived to learn, by no endeavour can magnet ever attract a silver churn.
While this magnetic, peripatetic lover he lived to learn,
By no endeavour can magnet ever attract a silver churn. At last they're gone. What is this mysterious fascination that I seem to exercise over all I come across? A curse on my fatal beauty, for I'm sick of conquests.
Archibald!
Patience.
I've escaped with difficulty from my Reginald. I wanted to see you so much that I might ask you if you still love me as fondly as ever.
Love you? If the devotion of a lifetime...
Hold! Unhand me or I'll scream! If you're a gentleman, pray remember that I am a novice. But you do love me, don't you?
Madly, hopelessly, despairingly.
That's right. I can never be yours, but that's right.
And you love this Bunthorne?
With a heart-whole ecstasy that withers and scorches and burns and stings. It is my duty.
Admirable girl. But you're not happy with him?
Happy? I am miserable beyond description.
That's right. I can never be yours, but that's right.
But go now. I see dear Reginald approaching.
Dear Reginald.
Farewell, dear Archibald. I cannot tell you how happy it's made me to know that you still love me.
If I only dared.
Sir, this language to one who is promised to another. Oh, Archibald, think of me sometimes, for my heart is breaking. He is so unkind to me. You would be so loving.
Loving.
Advance one step, and as I'm a good and pure woman, I scream. Farewell, Archibald. Stop there. Think of me sometimes. Advance at your peril. Once more. Adieu.
In a doleful train, one at one I walk all day. For I love in vain, not so sorrowful as they. Who can only sigh and say, woe is me, alack a day. Woe is me, alack a day. Whoa. Crying, eh? What are you crying about?
I've only been thinking how dearly I love you.
Love me? Bah! Love him? Bah! Don't you interfere. He always crushes me.
What is the matter, dear Reginald? If you haven't sorrow, tell it to me, that I may share it with you. It is my duty.
Whom were you talking with just now?
With dear Archibald.
With dear Archibald? Oh, upon my honour, this is too much. A great deal too much. Do be quiet. Crushed again.
I think he is the noblest, purest and most perfect being I've ever met. But I don't love him. It is true that he is devotedly attached to me, but indeed I don't love him. Whenever he grows affectionate, I scream. It is my duty.
I dare say. So do I. I dare say.
Why, how could I love him and love you too? You can't love two people at once.
Oh, can't you, though?
No, you can't. I only wish you could.
I don't believe you know what love is.
Yes, I do. There was a happy time when I didn't, but a bitter experience has taught me. Love is a plaintive song, sung by a suffering maid, telling a tale of wrong, telling of hope betrayed, tunes to each changing note, sorry when he is sad, lines to his every note, merry when he is glad, merry when he is glad. Love that no wrong can cure, love that is always new, that is a love that's pure, that is a love that's true, love that no wrong can cure, love that is always new, that is a love that's pure.
Everything has gone wrong with me since that smug-faced idiot came here. Before that, I was admired. I may say, loved.
Too mild. Adored.
Do let a poet soliloquize. The damosels used to follow me wherever I went. Now they all follow him.
Not all. I am still faithful to you.
Yes, the pretty damosel you are.
No, not pretty. Massive. Cheer up. I will never leave you, I swear it.
Oh, thank you. I know what it is. It's his confounded mildness. They find me too highly spiced, if you please. And no doubt I am highly spiced.
Not for my taste.
No, but I am for theirs. But I will show the world I can be as mild as he. If they want insipidity, they shall have it. I'll meet this fellow on his own ground and beat him on it.
You shall. And I will help you.
You will? Jane, there's a good deal of good in you, after all.
So go to him and say to him with compliment ironical,
Say hey to you, good day to you, and that's what I shall say.
your style is much too sanctified, your cut is too canonical.
Say bar to you, ha to you, and that's what I shall say.
I was the beau ideal of the morbid young aesthetical. To doubt my inspiration was regarded as heretical, until you cut me out with your placidity hermetical.
Sing boo to you, poo to you, and that's what I shall say. Sing boo to you, poo to you, and that's what I shall say.
Sing hey to you, good day to you, sing
Good
bar
day.
to you, ha to you, sing
Bar.
bar to you, poo to you,
Ha,
and that's
ha.
what I should say. Sing hey to you, good day to you, sing bar to you, ha to you, sing bar to you,
And that's what I shall say.
Bar,
Boo, and that's what I shall say. Ba boo, and that's what I shall say. I'll tell him that unless he will consent to be more jocular,
Say boo to you, poo to you, and that's what you should say.
to cut his curly hair and stick an eyeglass in his ocular,
Say bar to you, ha to you, and that's what you should say.
to stuff his conversation full of quibble and of quiddity, to dine on chops and roly-poly pudding with avidity, he'd better clear away with all convenient rapidity.
Sing hey to you, good day to you, and that's what you should say.
Sing boo to you, poo to you, and that's what I shall say.
Sing hey to you, good day to you, sing
Good
bar to
day.
you, ha to you, sing
Bar.
to you, poo to you,
Ha,
and
ha.
that's what you should say. Sing hey to you, good day to you, sing bar to you, ha to you, sing bar to you,
And that's what
you
I
should
shall
say.
say.
Bar,
Boo, and that's what I shall say. Ba, boo, and that's what I shall say.
It's clear that the evil art alone retains its zest. To charm and please its devotees, we've done our little best. We're not quite sure if all we do has here the English ring, but as far as we can judge, it's something like this sort of thing. You hold yourself like this. You hold yourself like that. By hook and crook, you try to look collect. Though not a part of true high art will have its due effect. If this is not exactly right, we hope you won't upbraid. You can't get high, a step dictates like trousers ready-made. True views on FDE, the lip, sometime alone will bring. But as far as we can judge, it's something like this sort of thing. You hold yourself like this. You hold yourself like that. By hook and crook, you try to look rectangular and flat. To cultivate a trim rigidity of limb, you ought to get a marionette and form your style on him.
Yes, it's quite clear that our only chance of making a lasting impression on these young ladies is to become as aesthetic as they are. No doubt. The only question is how far we've succeeded in doing so. I don't know why, but I've an idea that this is not quite right. I don't like it. I never did. I don't see what it means. I do it, but I don't like it. My good friend, the question is not whether we like it, but whether they do. They understand these things. We don't. Now, I shouldn't be surprised if this is effective enough, at a distance. I can't help thinking we're a little stiff at it. It would be extremely awkward if we were to be struck so. I don't think we shall be struck so. Perhaps we're a little awkward at first, but everything must have a beginning. Oh, here they come. Attention!
Oh, Sapphire! See! The immortal fire has descended on them, and they are of the inner brotherhood, perceptively intense and consummately utter. How Botticellian! How Fra Angelican! O art, we thank thee for this boon.
I'm afraid we're not quite right.
Not supremely, perhaps, but oh, so all but. Oh, Sapphire, are they not quite too all but? They are indeed jolly utter.
I wonder what the inner brotherhood usually recommend for cramp. Ladies, we will not deceive you. We are doing this at some personal inconvenience with a view of expressing the extremity of our devotion to you. We trust that it is not without its effect.
We will not deny that we are much moved by this proof of your attachment. Yes, your conversion to the principles of aesthetic art in its highest development has touched us deeply. And if Mr. Grosvenor should remain obdurate, which we have every reason to believe he will,
I wish they'd make haste.
we are not prepared to say that our yearning hearts will not go out to you.
By sections of threes, rapture!
Oh, it's extremely good. For beginners, it's admirable.
The only question is, who will take who?
Oh, the Duke chooses first, as a matter of course.
Oh, I couldn't think of it. You are really too good.
Nothing of the kind. You are a great matrimonial fish, and it's only fair that each of these ladies should have a chance of hooking you.
Won't it be rather awkward?
Awkward? Not at all. It's perfectly simple. Observe. Suppose you choose Angela, I take Sophia, Major takes nobody. Suppose you choose Sophia, Major takes Angela, I take nobody. Suppose you choose neither, I take Angela, Major takes Sophia, clear as day.
Capital! The very thing.
If Sophia I choose to marry, I shall be fixed up for life. Then the Colonel need not tarry, Angela can be his wife. In that case, unprecedented single, I shall live and die. I shall have to be contented with their heartfelt sympathy.
He will have to be contented with their heartfelt sympathy.
In that case, unprecedented single, I shall live and die. He will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. He shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. He shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. If on Angie I determine at my wedding she'll appear, decked in diamonds and ermine, Major then can take Sophia. In that case, unprecedented single, I shall live and die. I shall have to be contented with their heartfelt sympathy.
He will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy.
In that case, unprecedented single, he will live and die. He shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. He will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. He shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. After some debate internal, if on neither I decide, Sapphire then can take the Colonel, Angie be the Major's bride. In that case, unprecedented single, I must live and die. I shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy.
He will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy.
In that case, unprecedented single, I shall live and die. He shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. He shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. He shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy.
It is very pleasant to be alone. It is pleasant to be able to gaze at leisure upon those features which all others may gaze upon at their goodwill. I'm a very Narcissus. It's no use. I can't live without admiration. Since Grosvenor came here, insipidity has been at a premium. Ah, he is there.
Ah, Bunthorne, come here. Is it not beautiful? Which? Mine? Bah! I am in no mood for trifling. What is amiss? Ever since you came here, you've entirely monopolised the attention of the young ladies. I don't like it, sir. My dear sir, how can I help it? They are the plague of my life. My dear Mr. Bunthorne, with your personal disadvantages, you can have no idea of the inconvenience of being madly loved at first sight by every woman you meet. Sir, until you came here, I was adored.
Exactly. Until I came here. That's my grievance. I cut everybody out. I assure you, if you could only suggest some means whereby, consistently with my duty to society, I could escape these inconvenient attentions, you would earn my everlasting gratitude.
I will do so at once. However popular it may be with the world at large, your personal appearance is highly objectionable to me.
It is?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. How can I express my gratitude? By making a complete change at once. Your conversation must henceforth be perfectly matter of fact. You must cut your hair and have a back parting.
Beg pardon?
A back parting, sir. In appearance and costume, you must be absolutely commonplace.
No. Pardon me. That's impossible.
Take care. When I am thwarted, I am very terrible.
I can't help that. I am a man with a mission. I am here to preach, in my own person, the principles of perfection. I am, as it were, a banquet of beauty upon which all who will may feast. It is most unpleasant to be a banquet, but I must not shirk my responsibilities.
I don't think you quite appreciate the consequences of thwarting me.
I don't care what they are.
Suppose.
I won't go so far as to say that I will do it. But suppose, for one moment, I were to curse you.
Ah!
Very well. Take care.
But surely you would never do that.
I don't know. It would be an extreme measure, no doubt. Still...
But you would not do it. I am sure you would not. Oh, reflect. Reflect. You had a mother once.
Never!
Then you had an aunt.
I see you had.
By the memory of that aunt, I implore you to pause ere you resort to this last fearful expedient. Oh, Mr. Bunthorne, reflect, reflect. I must not allow myself to be unmanned. It is useless. Consent at once, or may a nephew's curse...
Hold!
Are you absolutely resolved? Absolutely. Will nothing shake you? Nothing. I am adamant. Very good. Then I yield. Ha! You swear it? I do. Cheerfully. I've long wished for a reasonable pretext for such a change as you suggest. It has come at last. I do it on compulsion. Victory! I triumph! When I go out of door, of damoiselles a score, all sighing and burning and clinging and yearning will follow me as before. I shall with cultured taste distinguish gems from paste, and high diddle diddle will rank as a diddle if I pronounce it chaste. A most intense young man, a soulful-eyed young man, an ultra-poetical, super-aesthetical, out of the way young man. Conceive me if you can, an everyday young man, a commonplace type of a stick and a pipe and a half-bred black and tan, who thinks suburban hops more fun than Monday pops, who's fond of his dinner and doesn't get thinner on bottled beer and chops. A commonplace young man, a matter-of-fact young man, a steady and solid jolly bank holiday everyday young man, a Japanese young man, a blue and white young man, Francesca da Rimini, Mimini, Pimini, je ne sais quoi young man, a Chancery Lane young man, a Somerset House young man, a very delectable, highly respectable threepenny bus young man, a pallid and thin young man,
a haggard and lank young man, a greenery, every grove and a gallery foot in the grave young man, a Sul and Cross young man, a Howell and James young man, a pushing young particle, what's the next article, Walter Newhouse young man, deceive me if you can, a matter of fact young man, an alphabetical, arithmetical, everyday young man, deceive me if you can, a matter of fact young man, an alphabetical, arithmetical, everyday young man.
It is all right. I have committed my last act of ill nature, and henceforth I'm a changed character. La da 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 dee, da dum da 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 da, da dee 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 dee.
Reginald? Dancing? What in the world have you done to yourself?
Patience. I am a changed man. Hitherto I've been gloomy, moody, fitful, uncertain in temper, and selfish in disposition.
You have indeed.
All that is changed. I have reformed. I have modelled myself upon Mr. Grosvenor. Henceforth I am mildly cheerful. My conversation will blend amusement with instruction. I shall still be aesthetic, but my aestheticism will be of the most pastoral kind.
Oh, Reginald, is all this true?
Quite true. Observe how amiable I am.
But, Reginald, how long will this last?
With occasional intervals for rest and refreshment, as long as I do.
Oh, Reginald, I'm so happy. Oh, dear, dear Reginald, I cannot express the joy I feel at this change. It will no longer be a duty to love you, but a pleasure, a rapture, an ecstasy.
My darling.
But, oh, horror.
What's the matter?
Is it quite certain that you have absolutely reformed? That you are henceforth a perfect being, utterly free from defect of any kind?
It is quite certain. I have sworn it.
Then I can never be yours.
Why not?
Love, to be pure, must be absolutely unselfish, and there can be nothing unselfish in loving so perfect a being as you have now become.
But you...
It is useless, Reginald. When you were objectionable, I could love you conscientiously, but now that you're endowed with every quality that can make a woman happy, it would be the height of selfishness even to think of such a thing.
Stop a bit. I don't want to change. I'll relapse. I'll be as I was.
No. Love should purify. It should never debase. Farewell, Reginald. Think of me sometimes as one who did her duty to you at all cost, at all sacrifice.
But I assure you, I interrupted. Young man, a Sul and Cross young man, a steady and stolidly jolly bank holiday every day young man.
With sails and bells and girls, with another Louisa girls, with busy battery, children, chattering every day that goes. It's a Sul and Cross young man, a Sul and Cross young man, a steady and stolidly jolly bank holiday every day young man. With sails and bells and girls, with another Louisa girls, with busy battery, children, chattering every
that Archibald the all-right cannot be all-wrong, and if the all-right chooses to discard aestheticism, it proves that aestheticism ought to be discarded.
Oh, Archibald! Archibald! I'm shocked, surprised, horrified.
I can't help it. I'm not a free agent. I do it on compulsion.
This is terrible. Go! I shall never set eyes on you again.
Oh, I say.
But, oh, joy.
What's the matter?
Is it quite certain that you will always be a commonplace young man?
Always. I've sworn it.
Why, then, there's nothing to prevent my loving you with all the fervour at my command.
Why, that's true.
My Archibald.
My patience.
Oh, mercy, I'm lost, lost, lost. Cheer up. I am still here. I have never left you, and I never will.
Thank you, Jane.
After all, there is no denying it. You're a fine figure of a woman. My Reginald.
My Jane.
Ladies, I've great and glorious news for you. His Grace the Duke, whose social position is rivaled only by his wealth stupendous, to choose a bride from you has just decided. I have a goodly prize to give away, which I must do without more hesitation. You are all beautiful as a summer's day. For all I feel an equal admiration. I'd share it with you all right willingly, if that could be arranged with due propriety. But that I need not say can scarcely be until we have reorganized society. I have resolved for men of high degree should show the way in self-denying actions, to give it to that maid who seems to be most wanting in material attractions. Jane, Duke, crushed again. After much debate internal, I on Lady Jane decide. Sapphire now may take the colonel, and she be the major's bride. In that case, unprecedented single, I must live and die. I shall have to be contented with a tulip all in line.
He will have to be contented with a tulip all in line.
In the case of residentity single, he must live alive. He will have to be contented with a tulip or a lie. Making his father to a heavenly sight. Each of us will let the other After much debate internal, I on Lady Jane decide. Sapphire now may take the colonel, and she be the major's bride. In that case, unprecedented single, I must live and die. I shall have to be contented with a tulip or a lie.
He will have to be contented with a tulip or a lie.
In the case of residentity single, he must live alive. He will have to be contented with a tulip or a lie. Making his father to a heavenly sight. Each of us will let the other